Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I see a very diverse audience here in terms of age profile, the gender, the clothing, everything we can see. I am thankful to the organizers and especially Dr. Deepak for providing me this opportunity to be here this afternoon and share some of the views and work with such enlightened audience. At first place, when I saw the topic of the conference, it's very diverse, and I was perplexed what to include and what not to include in the presentation. And it has been compounded by another quick on-the-spot issue where in the beginning it has been announced a topic which is a little diverse than what I was originally planning to speak. So I would like to include both my original topic, that is coping diversity with flexibility, and also on the excellence by diversity in higher institutions of learning. Now the issue of diversity, I'd like to highlight first of all from two viewpoints, and then we'll come down specifically to the situation under the institutions of higher learning. The same can also be applied to the corporate world as well. The first thing is when we talk of managing diversity. Now it has to be seen from two viewpoints. One is that diversity in the workplace, diversity in the learning environment creates complexity of its own kind. And how do we deal with it? How do we manage that diversity? So we have a diverse workforce, cross-cultural workforce. How do we deal with it? The second aspect, which is quite opposite to it, is if we really want an organization to succeed in today's global environment, we have to have more diversity. So how to create diversity? Now I will take the case of the institutions of higher learning. What is the level of diversity we have and how we are striving to create that diversity? Now the second aspect, the way I would like to highlight the issue of diversity is institutions like IIMs and others in the country. And also the faculty base is also almost nearly 100% domestic, except some visitors. Same is true in the students, except some exchange students which are there. So the cross-cultural learning, the diversity at that level is fairly low. Now we see the studies have been done by leading institutions in the country. If you see the gender diversity, that's very skewed in the programs, academic programs. We find that the female representation in these programs is around 20 to 30%. Now we really want good learning profile of these students. The diversity of all kinds have to be raised. Then and then a good, well-rounded personality of the student comes up. It's not only gender, it is the educational background. You can see a very high percentage, maybe 80 to 90% in the leading institutions in the country is going with technical background. Now they are trying their best how this has to be coped. There are various models that have been proposed that they are going to give additional marks for the girl students, candidates. They are going to give additional marks for the candidates that are coming from other backgrounds than the technology or engineering backgrounds. We see the experience The diversity of the experience is fairly low. Being these students candidates coming from the technical background, largely you will find the experiential base may be 2 to 4 years, but that is coming in a very narrow band of profiles. Largely coming from the software kind of a background. I met one of the senior professors from IIM Bangalore, and they were saying the basic question is not to be asked with what educational, with what experiential background you are. So we have to simply ask, are you from software industry? That is what is a very common answer, yes, which is going to be there. Now, what kind of learning is going to come out of that? Similarly, if we see the age group, we see the cross-cultural framework from where the students are coming. The students, our students have to work globally. But if they are not seeing anybody from a global background at a peer level learning, how will they really contribute effectively when they are being placed in such global corporations? So this is a very difficult area to be dealt with. I am a very big advocate of globalization of higher education in the Indian context. Not globalization of another kind, but globalization of the Indian institutions of higher learning themselves. They have to have at least 25% of the students coming from global background, and then we can think of a real world-class institution to come in the diverse frame. Now we come to the processes. How the learning processes are shaped up in the management learning. They are very skewed on one side. If we see from the approach that we are taking, is an analytical approach, a very quantitative approach. You may have n number of courses, quantitative method 1, 2, 3 in any MBA program. But how many courses do we have on creative problem solving, on qualitative and interpretive methods in the management programs? We see it is very low. So the diversity has to be created on a balance of the quantitative and qualitative, analytical and interpretive methods. The diversity has to be created from the point of view of where do we stand today and where do we want to go. We should not only look for change, but we also look for how to manage our continuity base. So it's a big area of learning. When the introduction was being provided, it was said that we have worked for a new strategic framework, that is flowing stream strategy, which is trying to leverage the confluence of continuity and change. And flowing is signifying change and stream is signifying continuity. If either of the two is absent, then we are finding it is only a pool and it is stagnant water which is going to become dirty. So if really we want an organization to grow up, it has to be like a flowing stream. And this is the thought process we have taken. This is the last part I am going to highlight, is the issue of flexibility. Now this is the area we have been working for last 2 decades and created some thought process around it. Flexibility and diversity has a two-way relationship. If we are having a very diverse organization, then we require high degree of flexibility in the actors and processes to cope with it. And so we are looking forward to the training of the mindset of the actors to see how they can deal with a variety of cultural backgrounds, racial backgrounds, age backgrounds, and also the processes like flexi time, flexi place, telecommuting, different kind of flexibility processes are to be created. On the other hand, if we are increasing the diversity, it creates flexibility in the organization. The rigid thinking mindsets are going to be going in the back. A diverse corporation, a diverse learning framework is generating flexibility in the people. So it is a two-way relationship between diversity and flexibility. And the last part, to sum up, the flexibility, which is so commonly used a term, what that means to us. I personally see this is more misused than used. The most common interpretation nowadays, people are going in a more colloquial sense, how the things are to be represented. A very recent book which has come up from the Wharton School, from the Harvard Business Press, The India Way. And there they have highlighted that there is one pillar of India Way is flexibility. Though I don't agree with their definition, but I simply share how they have said the flexibility. The flexibility is adjust kar lenge. So we are very adjustable kind of people. Chalta hai. Whether this way or that way, chalta hai. If the session is delayed, we will adjust kar lenge. That is the flexibility that we require. Without flexibility, no living system can work. The flexibility has to be more proactive in character. Flexibility does not mean leaving the rigidity. There has to be a rigidity. As the chairman has given me a time frame, that is the rigidity. We have to go by a base of flexibility and controllability going hand in hand. So I'd like to conclude by saying that we have to create institutions of higher learning which are very diverse in the background of the candidates that they are having, in terms of the gender, in terms of the background, in terms of the experiential base, in terms of the cross-cultural background from where they are coming. Really, it has to be global in character. That is what one thing I would like to suggest. And the second thing I would like to suggest, that we have to create flexibility in the processes by balancing the different learning practices in these institutions, rather than pure standardization, to go for more open processes. So balance the standardization and open processes, balance the quantitative and qualitative processes, balance the analytical and interpretive processes, and like that, it is more a paradox to be handled rather than a dilemma to be faced. It is not an either or framework, but a both and framework. We have to carry the two opposite things together rather than saying we leave one existing and go to the other. Thank you very much.